Good morning, everyone. All right. Good morning. Good to see you, Dad. Dad first on today. Beat Rick out just by a little bit, Rick. Good to see you both. Good to see Rick. Good to see Vicky. All right. Yeah, I had trouble just then with my software getting the Chord Academy set up, and the MIDI set up. But I got the piano software going. Good to see you, Doug. Everybody say hey to Doug. All right, so let's talk about something borrowed and something blues. From yesterday, and in our iMusicAcademy All Access, we talked about this idea. So don't worry, Chord Academy, we've got you covered. And I'm going to put this in context of a song this morning. So the first thing is this. Let's actually do the blues thing first, just to give everyone a reminder of the concept from yesterday. All right, we know that the first 5 notes is going to help you in any key, right? You get that 5 notes down. And everybody put got it in the chat because I want this to be a really interactive chat. I want you guys to stay focused. We're going to go till 35 after. I'm going to shut it down at 35 after. I will do that today. You know me, I want to stay on a little longer just to show you some things, but let's dig in and we're going to have some fun and knock it off at 35 after. So the first 5 notes of the blues scale, I'm getting some work in, right? And as a good way to test myself, I'm going to go up a half step. So I love the up-down approach. And right now I'm doing this over 30 seconds, but I want you guys to maybe say, all right, I'm going to spend a minute going through this and really working those fingers. We want to make sure we're working the fingers every day that we sit down at the piano. And then maybe go down to B. You could go right hand only if you need to, but just a good thing to practice getting into. Now, if I turned on a backing track, one of our backing tracks for C major, you just go for days and you can mix this up. And then you see how easy it is to come up with melodies if you have a shape to play on, right? Now, before I get into these 5 things we're going to do to connect one idea, I want to remind everybody that you have the descending blues scale, which is a great thing to practice. And let's use our left-hand voicings. Let's use our trio voicings. And I'm way up here an octave up on purpose, just to get out of the way of the left hand. And we're going to go be-da-da-da-da-da-dum. That's something that can work over the entire blues as well. I can pick any of those notes. Dee-dum. And I'm just going back and forth. And then this, as I come down, gets into the next, what we call our connection finger, and that's our 4th finger on F sharp. I did a lesson with a young student yesterday that he was at our church, and I did dee-da-da-dum. He's doing blues and things like that too, some different styles. But one thing I said is you can always go to this dee-da-da-dum. In the same way, you can always go to this dee-da-da-dum, dee-da-da-dum. That's pentatonic. This is blues with that F sharp. So let me give you an example of how I could play a whole blues just using this. Here we go. Right? The whole blues. All right, everybody good on that? You also have the descending blues scale, which we talked about. And then the last thing is, when you get down here and you keep going down the blues scale, this transitions into this, which if you keep going down, you hit that B flat. Now you have the top half of the blues scale, which is our other secret sauce. We say, what key are we in? We're in the key of C. My middle finger can go on the C, and now I have and 2. Middle finger of whatever key you're in, and it naturally wants to hover over the 5th, the flat 7, the root, and the minor 3rd. If everybody can put got it in the chat, that's 3 different ways that you know you have access to playing a really nice blues solo. Descending blues scale, connection note, bottom half of the blues scale, and if you keep going down, now you're on the top half of the blues scale, which it would be up here, but you can play that anywhere. Middle finger on whatever note and key you're in. Okay. Vicky's got it, Doug's got it, Rick's got it. All right, now watch this. Let's talk about what we did yesterday related to the blues. If I go up to the 4th note of the C blues, it's F, 4th note, 1, 2, 3, 4. And if I do this idea, remember this, da ba da da ba. That's the end goal of this next section is this. Ba ba da da. Now, the first thing we need to address is the slide of holding the G on the top and getting used to going minor 3rd to major 3rd. So the very first exercise of this 5 exercise thing is this. Minor 3rd to major 3rd. Notice that that's a C triad. And everybody, if you understand this exercise, you're just going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Go ahead and put a yes for in the chat. Yes, you understand this. This is exercise 1. And what we're doing here, we're doing a lot of things even with this one exercise. We're going minor 3rd to major 3rd of the key of C. We're sliding our 2nd finger and getting used to that, and we're holding the top note. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And 1 and 2 and 3. Now on F, same thing. On G, the same thing. Minor 3rd to major 3rd, holding the top note. Now, don't take this for granted because, not to say that you guys would, but it would be easy to kind of skip over this idea of holding that top note. That's where the sound comes from when I do this. You hear, are you still hearing that G? So it's a really subtle thing, but it's there and important. Otherwise, it wouldn't be there. But you have this idea. So exercise 1 is this. And I'm practicing holding that top G, right? Okay, that's example 1. Then what you're going to do is this. You're going to go F and A to the exercise. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. So I'm doing 3 and 5 with I'm doing F and A with my 3 and 5. And then I go 2, 4 and hold that top G. This is the exercise number 2. And put another yes if you understand that. This is exercise 2. Now, as I'm waiting for you guys to put yes in the chat on this one, I want you to know something. You're getting more material if I say play a C blues and you go up to that F. The F is like a suspension kind of thing that's leading you to the next part, that next lick. So this. You hear that? Now, when I go to the F chord, which is the 4 chord of the blues, now I can go, same idea. There's my F triad. What's the 4th of the F scale? B flat. You guys know that. I'm going to do the same thing. Back to C. Now, what about on the key of the chord G? What is my 4 chord? Dad? Or anybody? What's the 4 chord of the key of G? Count it up. Anyone? I wish it was in real time because I know y'all already know the answer. I'm going to assume y'all know the answer, but I'm going to keep going. And then you have this idea. Yeah, Rick says C. So the 4 chord of the G blues, G, A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, 4 is C. So you have this ba, da, da, da. And I go 3, 5. Yep, T-Man's got it, and Vicky's got it. Watch this. So that's, as you're playing this lick, or any lick, notice that thinking about that 4 of whatever it is away gives you more material. I'll do it one more time, and then we'll do the next part. Here we go. Here we go. Now, I just did, on the way back down as a turnaround, I did the blues scale coming down. And then I did. Now, what is that? That's the secret sauce right there. That's third, my middle finger on C, right? Secret sauce. You can put SS for secret sauce. All right, we are almost done with this section. We're going to get into the jazz thing in just a minute, but watch this. If this is our first exercise, the second exercise is this. The third one is this. One, and so it's 1 and 3 and 4 and 1 and then. And notice that I'm holding the top note. I go 2, 3, 2, 1. If you can do that. 2, 3, 2, 1. And if you need to slide, you could, let me see. Yeah, if you need to, you could go 3, 3. But I do, on this one, I do 2, 3, 2, 1. And as a triplet, 1 and then 1 and then. Now, notice that that's the second inversion triad, another really important thing. This is the third exercise. So we have this. First one, second one, third. And put a G for got it. Now, this exercise takes a little bit of work. We've been doing this for a while at iMusicAcademy, but it's still important to practice. And even right now, I'm practicing this myself, even though I've done this a lot. You got to remember that the top note, you're holding it. And that's part of today's lesson, is holding that top note. Okay, so that's the third exercise. And then the fourth exercise is this. 1 and 2 and 3 and then 4 and 1 and 2. That's on the and that you start 2 and 3, and that's on the downbeat, and 1 and then 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and then 2. And so the fourth one. And the fifth one is putting it all together. You're going to go 1, 2 and 3 and then 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. I like that a lot. 1 and 2 and 3 and then 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. And you have to, even if you have to do the right hand only, 1 and 2 and 3 and then 4 and 1. Now, you have options. You can just go to the first one. Or this. Or this. Isn't that nice? Yeah, I love that. So, Doug, Vicky, T-Man, Rick, anybody else watching, you have this idea when you go to F chord, guess what you could do there? All right, now let's keep going. Let's go on to the next part. We talked about yesterday the idea of something borrowed and something blue. The borrowed part is this. If I'm in C major and we play a G triad, we already know with a C octave in the bass, we have a nice C major 9. Really nice sound. You can spread it out if you want and do a rolled C chord, so a C, G, E if you want, and do a G triad. You can put a G triad in if you want on the top. Or you could just do a simple G triad, and then you're going to go here. You're going to go. Here's the progression we're going to do. Again. Now, a borrowed chord is when you say we're in the key of C, and instead of C major, we're going to go to C minor. A C natural minor is this scale: C, D, E flat. So you flat the third note of the major scale. You have the fourth, the fifth, the flat six, and the flat seven. So it looks like an E flat major scale if you were to play it up starting on C minor. But it's an E flat, an A flat, and a B flat. Okay? Everybody put a G for got it in the chat, because this is important. It's called the parallel minor chord. If you have C major, all of my white notes are going to work. If I borrow a chord from C minor, I could borrow the 4 and it's minor, so F minor, and use those notes from F minor. Okay, so same thing on the B. Instead of B flat, I'm going to do this. B flat. I'm going to show you that voicing in just a minute. A flat major and F minor. Now, what I'm going to do now is just demonstrate a couple of chords where I play either C major chords or I'll borrow a chord. Here's C, here's F minor. Ooh. Now, what in the world is that voicing that I just did? That's F minor 11. And all I did is the 9th of F, the minor third, the 11th note, which looks like a 4, but it's not. It's the 11th because I have the flat 7 on top. So you have this idea of, isn't that a nice sound right there? It's just the 1 chord to the 4 chord. Now let me go back to something you're familiar with. G13. How beautiful is that right there? I went. Let me do that again. Now, something we talked about yesterday that's so nice is you have C major, and it's nice to add just a C major, play all white notes. But there's a thing that people use called it's a mode. It's called the Lydian mode. And what that means is, you have modes in jazz. I don't want to go down a theory road right now, but I'm just going to show you something very simple. When you learn about modes, you learn that the C major scale is a mode. It's called the Ionian mode. That's a major scale. Okay, if you go up to D, it's called Dorian, still all white notes. If you go up again to E and do the same white notes, it's called Phrygian. It's the third mode of the Ionian scale, the major scale. And then if you go up one more, you go to the 4th chord. And notice it's called Lydian. And what that means is it's like a major scale, but it has the sharp 4. So in the key of C, when I say I'm going to play a Lydian scale, I do a major scale, but instead of the 4th note, I'm going to sharp it. And it just gives this little lift. And some people, some jazz musicians especially, will play the major scale as that sort of lifting Lydian mode where they sharp the 4. I do that all the time in my voicings. Like, I love the sound of the Lydian voicings of having that sharp 4. And I'll show you when I come up with some of those. And I'll show you actually in just a minute. Okay, so watch this. C major. Again, you could just do a G major with a C octave, and that sounds fantastic. Now watch an F major. Let's just do a regular F major, but let's go F minor. Or I can do this fancy F minor 11 that I did. That's a Rick chord right there. Rick's going to love that. Doug's going to love that one too. Okay, so you have this. Okay, Rick says the fingering for the F sharp is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's a good fingering, Rick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Yep, that's right. And 1, 2, 3, 4 if you're going all the way to the top. That's exactly right. So let's do it again. So watch this. Now watch this. Instead of this, I'm going to go. Now, I wanted to show you guys something really, really important. Is that if I play a C triad with a G, C octave with a G, you have that C major 9. If I put a D in second inversion, watch these notes. Lydian, Lydian. Do you see that? I did the C with the D in second inversion. That gives me a Lydian sound that I'm looking for, if I like that sound. Here's my regular C major. Here's the Lydian D major. That's a really neat thing about chords, is often we do spend a lot of time talking about triads and mashing triads together. Sometimes I'll show you, like, guys, where I say, all right, D minor triad, and go down a whole step and put a major. Now you have a D minor 9. This sounds amazing, right? We talk about this kind of stuff all the time. But then if I say do a C major triad and put a D major triad with it, that's Lydian right there, because it's just like C major notes with that F sharp. And put yes in the chat if you like that and agree with what I'm saying. So isn't that nice? I love that idea. So if I did this, one chord to F minor, I'm still thinking in C. I'm just using this borrowed chord, and now I'm going to go G7, and then here for C major. And I love that second inversion triad. And I can go all the way up the keyboard. 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4. Okay, let me go back to this loop here that I was showing you guys yesterday. You have C major, and then I did this. Now this chord, these notes right here, G, everybody make a note of these notes. Make a note of these notes. Rick will do it. He's putting these in the chat. G, A flat, B flat, E flat. The great thing about jazz and chords in general is that you can often play the same chord in the right hand and it makes it totally different by just changing the left hand, right? You have this, which I just showed you was F minor 11, okay? When I play the A flat in the bass, it gives me an A flat major 9 chord. How amazing is that? Which is really like a borrowed chord from C minor, if I want to go there. And then another thing, let's put the E flat in the bass. Now listen to how nice that sounds. There's that mysterious chord that we've been doing this week. I said, man, I stumbled upon just this sound and I love it. I play this voicing so many times, but not too many times in context where I put the C there with it and thinking of it as like an A flat chord, but with the E flat in the bass with that C. Just has a nice mysterious sound. All right, so watch this. And then I went to A flat where I did this. Now, I want you to notice something I did here. If I'm thinking A flat and I came down to here, well, this sound right here is that Lydian sound. That's like an A flat, but it's not a D flat. It has to be the D, which is part of that C natural minor scale that we talked about as I'm borrowing notes and things. That A flat naturally wants to be in there. Okay, let me do it again and give you context. We have 6 minutes to go. Everybody hang in there. Watch this. And here, I just decided to do this B flat. If you guys understand that so far where we are, put God in the chat, because I want to talk about this next chord. I could go to like a G13 or sus4 and then go like that, do that, but I like the idea of the B flat with this, the second note of the B flat scale, the fifth and the sixth. And we did this yesterday where we said you can take these fun little shapes and just go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 5. That gives me a lot of mystery there as well. But notice the walk up. Watch this. Once I get to this A flat, see how that I went here, then I went here, then I went A flat, and instead of like going to like 5 chord, I just kept walking it up, da da da, and it wants to go there, right? Right here's A flat, and here's your Lydian. Watch. That's just so pretty right there. How about this? There's Lydian. And I ended with the fifth. Okay, now I'm going to do one more important thing as we have about 4 or 5 minutes left, is this. Last night I played the song. Does everybody know the song Danny Boy, Oh Danny Boy? And I did like this. If you guys know that song, I want to show you how borrowed chords can relate in the key, how you could use them over a song like Danny Boy. Now, Danny Boy, just for fun, it starts on the major 7 of the key. So we're going to actually do this in the key of C for you guys to see what I'm talking about borrowing chords. If my melody starts on the 7, it's B. Watch this. I go. Now F, it goes to F, and then it goes to F minor is borrowed. F major to F minor. I borrowed that B flat from C major. Let me do that again. F to F minor. Borrowed it from C minor again. To F minor. F minor again. All right, so this whole thing, I can keep going. I can keep borrowing chords. I could go. Watch this. Borrowed, A flat, Lydian, F minor, Lydian, sharp 5. Now watch. Oh, I could do this. C with the. So I go. Okay, so that's just a very, very small concept of borrowed chords. Like you could use it and take the A train, you can use it in All of Me, any kind of C major things that you're thinking about. You go to the 4 and just practice going to the F minor. Listen to that. All right, now the very last thing, since I have 1 minute left, is this. In addition to it being called borrowed chords, there's a thing called backdoor chord progression. So, and that's this. This is your bonus. This is your quick bonus. If I do a C and I do 2-5 in the key of C, 2-5, the most common progression in jazz, instead of going 2-5, I can also go F, B flat, and go back to C. It's called a backdoor 2-5, and what it's using is borrowed chords, F and B flat. So it's like a substitution you can do. So I could go like C major instead of 2-5. I can go here. I'm going to borrow the F minor and borrow the B flat, and then I could go up. Let me do it right here. 2-5. Here we go. 4. Here we go. Borrow. 1, 2, 5, 1. Borrow. F minor. Yeah, isn't that neat, Rick, that you can do that? So all the time when I'm playing, I'm thinking about borrowed chords. And honestly, it's not till recently, maybe in the past year or two, that I actually have thought of those as borrowed chords. I would just naturally play them because I love the sound of going to the F. Yeah, so even going to that A flat Lydian, that's borrowed. Even when I go to that B flat, borrowed from C minor. When I go to the F minor, borrowed from C minor. All right, guys, you have 1 minute to say goodbye to each other. And just remember that Thursday is our all access day. And then on Friday, we'll do more chords, more fun. And let's spend the rest of this week talking about these borrowed chords. And we'll put them in context once again of, we can do Oh Danny Boy, or we can do another easy song of your choice. But you'd have to let me know which one you would like to do. That's a great song, though, Danny Boy. We can't get off today's lesson until Hugh gets on and tells us bye. Greg says Danny Boy works. Ah, I love that. Hugh. Hugh is the bookend of every stream. There at the beginning and there at the end. Sometimes in the middle as well.